Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Going to be talking about my experience at Social Media Marketing World, what happened there, the vibe, and more importantly, what was the big topics? What was the big takeaways from Social Media Marketing World 2020? If you don't know, Social Media Marketing World is one of the biggest social media marketing conferences in the world. So it's very large. Really, most of the top speakers, social media experts, if you will, in the space are speakers there. I've been blessed to have been not only a part of that journey for 7 of the 8 years, and have built great relationships with some incredible people through this experience. So if you are interested in finding out what the big scoop was, what the big news was, then you are in the right place. If you don't know who I am, my name is Kim Garst. I am an online business strategist who is very passionate about shortening learning curves when it comes to business growth through social and digital media. So as you're coming in, just give me a shout out. Where in the world are you today? And what is the weather like where you are? So I have been in San Diego since Friday of last week. And when I first got there, it was a little chill. No, the first day was nice. It was lovely the first day. And then it was a little chilly and rainy. And then it started warming up a little bit, if you call it that. When I'm thinking 60s, that's not super warm, but evidently it's pretty warm for some. So Carrie is saying Sacramento, gorgeous weather here. So today, I got up this morning and I think I was just in San Diego mindset. So I put on a dress for success from the waist up. That's what I say. That's what I tell people. So put my makeup on and I've got my sweatpants on and some furry socks. And I went outside with Sophie a little bit ago and oh my gosh, it is super hot out there. So let's just say I'm overdressed. Okay, so we have Carrie is here from Sacramento. Hey, Carrie, we got to catch up, dude. We really got to catch up. And then we got Mary Jo from Maryland. So, Mary Jo, you know the scoop, right? As it comes to San Diego weather. And then we've got Darcy. Hey, Darcy. So, from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. So, is it cold up there, Darcy? And we've got, oh, yep, Sherry. I saw your message earlier about that, and let me address that in just a moment, if you don't mind. So hang in there with me. And then we've got Althea in Mississauga, and it's sunny. So is it sunny cold? I've been to Mississauga for, I don't know, 3 or 4 times over the years with my boys and their hockey. So, and then we've got Donna in Virginia. Hey, Donna, good to see you. And then we've got I2B Global watching from Hamilton. We got a lot of Canadians in the house today. So, didn't realize Periscope was still going. Donna, yes, we're going to talk about that too. So I'll just share my experiences with it because I shared that with a couple of my peers, people that were speaking there, that I was still getting great results on Periscope, and they were stunned. And look at this. You guys are on Periscope. You guys go. That's awesome. That is awesome. And when I say Periscope, it's Twitter / Twitter, right? It's Twitter Live, but we still call it Periscope. And then we've got Alice in Virginia, and it's cold there. Yes. Well, I'm super excited you all are here, and I'm really excited to share what I learned at Social Media Marketing World. So when I go to Social Media Marketing World, I want to learn. I'm looking to see what's new, what's the latest trends, what are people doing. I'm looking for the nugget. Like, what was my one thing that I can take back and use in my business? Because I'm in this space. So I kind of it's not that I know everything. It's not that, not at all. I don't, by no means. But I kind of know the lay of the land, if you will. And I'm watching and I see things and I know what's happening, at least on a surface level. So when I pick up things, or when I go there, I'm looking to pick up the things I don't know, right? And I would speculate that there's probably many of you guys out there that are wanting to know those types of things too. You're wanting to know, one, what was the big topics? What was everybody talking about? But as I go through these 5 things, I only have 5 things that I want to talk to you about today. I'm going to share my biggest, I really only had like one big golden nugget that I just didn't know before or didn't have a frame of reference for. I was like, really? You can do that? So I'm going to share that as well with you. So just guys, if you have aha moments, feel free to drop them in, like hashtag aha, because it's super helpful to know what you guys think is valuable. So we started off the day on, let me get my days right. I've been on the road since Friday, so I'm trying to figure out Monday. Monday was the first day of the conference. Well, let me back up for just a second because I kind of want to give you a little bit of feel of what happens at Social Media Marketing World. So how many of you guys have been? If you've ever been to Social Media Marketing World, just put your hand up because I would be curious to get that feedback. So much of what happens at Social Media Marketing World is social. I mean, we start out on the night before the event starts, which would have been Sunday night, with a meet and greet in the hotel lobby, and that is always a good time because you get to meet new people. Most of the new people, in some cases, you get to reconnect with friends that you've created over the years. I'll speak from my perspective. If you're brand new, you may not know anybody, right? But that doesn't matter because everybody just embraces everybody, and it is probably one of the most relaxed atmospheres when it comes to conferences that I've ever been to because everybody is looking to connect. In fact, most people will tell you that the value that they get out of the conference is not the content. It's not that the content's not good. It's not that at all. It's that what they value more than the content is the connections that they make while they're there. So it is usually the people that and the connections and the collaborations that come out of this conference in particular that is so value-based. So it starts with that social event. And then, of course, Monday morning, Mike Stelzner, who is the founder of Social Media Examiner. He's also the creator of the Social Media Marketing World Conference. And he has a ton of help because the conference is large. But he starts out the day with his basically lay of the land in the social space. So what's happening, and much of this is based on not just his random thoughts, but he surveys his community, finds out what they're using, what they're not using, what they're doing, what they're not doing. And he also compares that to the entire online marketing space to see what's the latest and greatest. So he kind of sets the stage for the entire event with that opening keynote because it's all about what's hot now, essentially. So that's where we start. Thank you, Dustin. It was so great to see you. So, all right. So let's just get to it. So he really started with the core of his message across the board, and it was reiterated over and over and over again. And that was the power of video. Now, when I say video, and this is there's going to be a common theme to a lot of what I share with you today, but he was talking about how today, the way people consume content is so different. It's shifting in massive ways. So, and honestly, I bet you guys have already seen it. You're either seeing it or you're doing it differently already. So the traditional TV is not, nobody does that anymore, or a lot of people don't. They're binge watching, they're consuming content in blocks of time. So how many of you guys, and I'll just be really curious, how many of you like binge watch something on Netflix? Or maybe Disney Plus now, right? Which was also one of Mike's topics. He talked about how Disney is going all in, like it's their number one focus, which is Disney Plus, because it is the way people are shifting and consuming content. So Darren is saying, yep, he's done it. Darren, I got your phone call, my friend. I'll call you probably after this. So he talked about how and the consumption and the way they're consuming content has shifted, and it's going to not just like the Netflixes or the Disney Pluses. It's going to YouTube and Facebook Watch, and places where we as marketers can show up and get a market share, a slice of that market share. Did y'all hear that? I mean, seriously. Social media gave us the opportunity to level the playing field with big brands. Now, video gives us the opportunity to level the playing field again and get a percentage of the market share that is happening with this shift in the way people consume content. You need to hear that. If you didn't hear it, you need to hear it. Because what this means, now everybody's been talking about live video and video. I mean, this is nothing new. Like, video is nothing new. Like, we have known the power of video for a long time. And of course, I would say over the last 5 years, live video has definitely been the talk, and a lot of people have stepped into it, but so many haven't stepped into it. So let me give you a staggering statistic. By next year, 2021, 80+%, some stats say as high as 86% of internet traffic or consumption is going to be video based. 86% of content consumed in 2021, which is like just around the corner. It's not like it's like 10 years from now. No, it's here, guys. It's not just like coming. It is here, and you need to embrace it. So let me just give you my quick spin on this. I think it's bigger than just live video or just video. I think if we want a market share or a percentage of the market share when it comes to competing with the Netflixes and the Disney Pluses, we need our own show. We need a special time that we set aside to deliver, I would call it edutainment. If we're in this space, if we're in the digital social marketing space, or we are sharing knowledge or trying to connect with people, we absolutely need to be leveraging the power of live video, or at least video across the board, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more when we get to YouTube. So hang in there with me. So video was, I would say, if I had to put one theme on the conference, one theme, one big thing, like pull it out and pull it to the top, that was it. Video across the board. And most everything else that was big topic, hot topic, if you will, had video implications. So, hey, Kathy, good to see you, girl. So Kathy was at Social Media Marketing World, and uber talented lady. She was drawing caricatures. That word didn't want to roll off my tongue. At the event, super talented. If you don't know her and you would love a caricature, that word's hard for me to say today. Okay, so let me go on to my second thing, storytelling. Okay, so everybody knows, I would say that's nothing new either, right? Like, you've probably heard it. In fact, tell me, like, don't y'all know that storytelling is powerful? Like, hands up, like, right? We know that storytelling is powerful, but how many of us really do it? It's like, and I'll own this. So in years past, when I have spoke at Social Media Marketing World, and lots of times, honestly, when I speak at places, my intent is to come and deliver great value. And so when as speakers at Social Media Marketing World, we have a small window of time and we've got to cram a bunch in. So we have about 35 to 40 minutes with a 5 to 10 minute Q&A is basically this time structure. And so you have to get a lot out in that 35 minutes. So traditionally I've gone and I've just gotten to it. Like, okay, here's all the content. This time I told a story that I had never shared publicly before. And it wasn't a feel-good story, but it had a powerful, inspirational message. And that was what I intended to share. And it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable for me to share that, but guess what? I did it and I didn't die. Yeah, I did it and I didn't die. So point of it is that the storytelling, and by the way, most people resonated with my story, I think, more than the content I shared. It's incredible. It's just super incredible. And so the storytelling piece across the board was a big theme as well. But how? In what formats? So there was a lot of talk around Instagram stories, Facebook stories, sharing longer format content like YouTube content that's more story based. A lot of that integration, if you will, with how you show up in the world, but from a story perspective so that people can relate to you. And there was a whole dynamic behind, there's actually science behind why stories matter. And I won't go into that so much, but I'm just here to share with you my personal experience with opening up and sharing a story at Social Media Marketing World and the value that created for the audience. Was pretty powerful. And there was a lot of talk about storytelling. So storytelling, how many of you guys are using storytelling in your marketing now? If let me talk about this real quick, because it's like one of my things, even though I will own it. I have not mastered the storytelling, but I think we have stories every day, all day long. Just a quick example. My son, who is 25 years old, 24, he's almost 25. And he picked me up at the airport yesterday, brought Sophie, my little fur baby, with him. And then we stopped and got some dinner through a drive-through, and because we had Sophie with us, right? We came home. He ended up hanging out and staying with me the rest of the evening, spent the night, et cetera, before he went home, went to work actually this morning. But the point of that is there was a story in that, that I haven't shared with anyone yet. So the point of the whole, my big point around this whole thing is that we have like multiple stories each and every day. We just don't look at them like that. Like, start thinking about it in the context of your day-to-day. What happens to you throughout the course of the day can be shared, and I arguably should be shared if you're comfortable doing so. And I would like to encourage you to bump up against that discomfort if you're feeling it, and put yourself out there, because the storytelling is how people connect to us. Yes. So storytelling, be your knowledgeable spring like Twitter Live. Yes. And Darren is saying, I agree, story sell and facts tell. Yes, my friend. Absolutely. Okay, so that's the second big takeaway. My third big takeaway when it came to conversations and overall content and what I saw people really resonating with was the oldies but goodies, guys. So there is so much interest right now around LinkedIn and YouTube. Yeah. Both of these are not new platforms. They're arguably not the sexiest of the platforms, but they have tremendous impact. So let's talk about LinkedIn first. What was the big thing around LinkedIn? Primarily LinkedIn Live. LinkedIn Live is highly sought after. Not very many people have it. For all of my LinkedIn buddies that are watching right now, thank you. I am excited that I actually have LinkedIn Live, and I will share my personal story around LinkedIn Live. It did take me multiple times to apply before I was granted access to LinkedIn Live. You can go apply, and I recommend that if you get turned down, that you just keep trying. That's what I did. Another thing that I did that again, I don't know exactly if it had an impact or not, but I'm going to share what I did and it might help, is I started sharing video content on my LinkedIn profile. Again, to showcase that, that I did video, that I was sharing video and that kind of thing. So that might help. But there's a lot of talk around the whole LinkedIn thing. What I find fascinating about LinkedIn Live is the quality of the viewers. Now, when I say that, I feel like anytime somebody gives me their time and attention, wow, I'm honored. I'm super excited about that, regardless of where people are, what platform they're tuning in on, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or YouTube or wherever someone is in that moment. Time and attention is extremely valuable. It's probably your most valuable asset and when you gift that to me, I'm very appreciative of that. But I will say that the people that are on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn gives you a little bit of visibility into the who. So I can see, for example, that the people that are watching my video on LinkedIn, I can see the dynamics of and they just pull this, I'm assuming, directly from their profiles. So I can see that 33 people that are sales professionals are watching. I can see that, 50 people that are, I'm just trying to think of another, goodness, I'm having a brain cramp. But my point is, it starts to segment who's watching you. So with some degree of certainty if your content is hitting the mark, because you can tell by who's watching. So if people were not, if those types of categories of folks are not your demographic, you would know that, whoa, I'm not hitting the right note here. But that's awesome. It will also show you what brands are watching. And I found that to be pretty interesting as well. And that is not that's not in the analytics on the other social platforms. So I think that's really interesting. And I've generated business over there because I've been going live, and I just think it's a really interesting dynamic. It has really made me reappreciate, well, maybe not reappreciate, just appreciate LinkedIn, because traditionally LinkedIn was my least favorite social platform, but I am finding that I'm really falling in love with it. And I'm not the only one. A lot of people that have traditionally not really participated very much on LinkedIn are now finding a lot of value. So there's a tremendous amount of interest right now on LinkedIn. Okay, YouTube. Okay, so stunning statistics on YouTube, mostly from a viewership perspective. So when people are consuming content on the other socials, like Facebook, for example, people will, and I think this same thing can be said for Periscope / Twitter. People come and they go. Sometimes they'll bump out, they'll come back. Sometimes they come in. If something catches their attention, they stay for a few minutes and then they're gone. The stickiness of the content on Facebook and Twitter is usually not as sticky. It's not as tacky, if you will, for the viewers there. But the stickiness for YouTube content is absolutely there. And I find that a fascinating thing, and honestly, though, it makes sense, because on Facebook and on Twitter, there's so much other content flying that you're competing for a lot of different, with a lot of different formats and within a lot of different other content structures, if you will. On LinkedIn, people are there because they're wanting to watch a video. I mean, that's all YouTube is. So they're there, they're searching for content. Obviously, in the context of the fact that video was such a prevalent topic, YouTube surfaced a lot. TubeBuddy was one of the sponsors there. Now, you may have heard of TubeBuddy, maybe you haven't. I had heard of TubeBuddy, but I didn't understand exactly what it was. So they're a company that really helps you optimize your YouTube profile. So if you haven't optimized, you might check them out. I thought that was really interesting. Now, one of the things that I wanted to check, yeah, Alex, people do still use LinkedIn. Sherry, I touched on how you get LinkedIn Live. You sign up for it, and it's a process. More than likely, you'll get turned down. There's not even in the social space, like quick example, Social Media Examiner doesn't have LinkedIn Live yet. I frankly am not quite sure how I got it. all I can tell you is what I did. I applied multiple times. I started sharing a video on LinkedIn, and I eventually got approved. So, all right. So Darren is saying, more than ever, Gary. Yes. Good point, Darren. Okay. So I wanted to share, I told you I had one real big, oh my gosh, did not know that at all. And it revolves around LinkedIn. So, like I said, when I go to these conferences, I'm looking for that like nugget. So this is my nugget. This is my big, oh my gosh, I did not know that you could do this. LinkedIn has a pixel just like Facebook does. So you can go to LinkedIn, set up an ad account. You don't have to spend any money. You just have to set up an ad account. It will generate a pixel just like just like Facebook does. And you can put that on your page. And now you're able to target or retarget different traffic sources, not just people who are coming from Facebook, but people who are coming from LinkedIn. And most people that are using LinkedIn have their LinkedIn account, their email associated with that account is not a throwaway. It's their primary email address. So I was like, oh my gosh, I did not know that. So that was my biggest aha moment. And I would like you guys to all go, if you got a LinkedIn account, go set up your ad account and generate your pixel and get it on your webpage. It's important. Anybody thinking that's important besides me? I just was like, that's really a game changer, especially if you're doing any type of advertising, is being able to pixel your traffic sources. It's really important. So take my word for it. Try to go do it. And if you don't have a Facebook pixel on your page yet, you need to get one there, guys. So, all right. All right. So next up. Now, again, these are not new things. Facebook groups. There's a lot of interest, if you will, a lot of renewed interest in Facebook groups for a variety of reasons. One, organic reach. I would hate to say that it's dead, but it is limping. It is, and for many, I would argue that potentially it could be dead, just simply because it's hard these days. It's what I call a self-licking ice cream. You can't get more reach without engagement, and you can't get more engagement without reach. So it's like, it's just such a frustrating thing. So a lot of people have moved their energies from their Facebook page to Facebook groups because you can build community there. You can foster people. You can deliver value there. And more importantly, you can be seen in their feeds if your group is set up correctly, which is important. As you know, with Facebook pages these days, it's hard to get your content to show up in your fans' feeds without, again, having already built a bunch of reach or a bunch of engagement on your page. It can be very difficult. Even pages like mine that have been around for a while, there's nowhere near the engagement on my content that there was, a year ago or 2 years ago, or even 5 years ago. It's like night and day. But still, for somebody who's brand new and is trying to do that, oh my gosh, it would be very difficult, I think. So Facebook groups have been an opportunity for that purpose. There's a renewed interest in Facebook groups because the team at Facebook has said they're focusing in on groups and community, and they're they're spending advertising to really promote their Facebook groups ecosystem. And they're building out other incredible functionality inside of Facebook groups. So that's, again, one thing. But one of the overarching themes that came with all of the trainings that I saw around people who were teaching Facebook groups while they were there was the value of live video in those groups and how that is the game changer. So I do have a course called Facebook, the Groups That Grow Your Business, and it focuses around this concept of teaching people how to leverage the power of Facebook groups to grow their business, grow community, create more sales and leads ultimately for their business. But the one piece that I have found is huge, and it works each and every time, almost without exception, is the ability, one, to go live in your group and how much power that brings to building the true community and the connection, and ultimately creating more sales and driving traffic even from your group to other things inside of the group. It originates with the live video. Again, are you seeing a theme here? Video. When I was talking about LinkedIn, YouTube, video, storytelling, video. It all ties together. And I would argue much of this video content could be repurposed for a lot of these different platforms with one block of time. We'll talk about that before I close up here today. Okay, so Facebook groups, leveraging the power of Facebook groups. 1, 2, absolutely use live video in that group to really build out that know, like, and trust factor, get people talking to you and with each other for true community build out. And then my last big takeaway, again, not new. I actually have a bonus for you. So hang in there. I have a bonus platform that we're going to talk about, and I promise you that you are going to be stunned when I talk to you about it. So hang in there. But Instagram was still a big topic. In fact, I would put Instagram maybe number 2 or possibly number 3, depending on who you were talking to. There's a lot more mass adoption for Instagram than the bonus that I have for you. And the storytelling in the video, again, played such a large role in this topic. So people were saying you need to be storytelling. You need to be using the story functionality inside of Instagram. You need to be using IGTV, people. Yes, again, video. There's such an amazing opportunity with IGTV right now, and leveraging the power of that opportunity because so many aren't, which gives you a leg up. And there's some really cool functionality that's being built inside of Instagram, kind of like a playlist. So you can start to categorize your content, which is going to be huge as well. So these platforms are going all in on what? Video. Big theme across the board. So definitely pay attention to video, leveraging the power of Instagram. And if you're not active on Instagram, it might be time to really focus in there and get more active. Again, though, leveraging the power of one piece of content, I'm going to come back to that. The 6th thing that I want to talk to you about, that's kind of the bonus thing, that, again, it depended on who you talked to, whether they were interested or not. But there was a lot of buzz, I would say, quite a bit of buzz around TikTok. Who hasn't heard of TikTok? Who doesn't have it on your phone? All right, so all right, I'm just seeing what I missed question-wise here. So, all right, so moving on to TikTok. So Donna is saying, have it, don't use it. And we've got the Boss of Stress says she has it. Let's see. There was only one speaker about TikTok. Yes, only one speaker. But I had so many conversations around TikTok. So it was really an interesting dynamic. So we have Grateful Chick. Hang on. I'm losing. Yeah. There we go. Grateful Chick, I've heard of it, but don't have it. And then Lena says, I don't. Then there's Elizabeth that don't have it. Let's see. Donna says, I have it, but don't like it. And then we've got Fazal. I hope I said that correctly. Just started using it. Okay. So let me address a couple of the security concerns that I've heard about it. It is a China-owned company, app company, and there's been a lot of concern that it is, security risk on our phones. And like I will know, I do know because my husband is retired from the military and still supports a lot of that space. That a lot of the military basically have just forbidden you to put it on your personal phone because it's real. I think it is a real security risk. Um, but I'm in this space, and so I've been kind of monitoring TikTok for probably 2 months. So I downloaded it, and I wanted to understand the application of it from a business perspective. I wanted to see if there was a place there for me to show up. And since a lot of people asked me about it, I really wanted to feel like I had a grasp for not only what it did, but did it matter to the average marketer? So, one of the things that I found fascinating through learning from others at Social Media Marketing World is that 35% of the demographic of TikTok is over the age of 35. So the 35% of the end users on TikTok are between the ages of 35 and 49. Is that like a shocker to y'all? Because I thought TikTok was just teenagers bopping around, dancing wildly, and sharing inappropriate content, maybe sometimes. But my personal experience has been a little different than that. So my personal experience with TikTok has been that there is some really great content on there. I personally have not created any content for TikTok yet, but I've been consuming content. I'm a little bit addicted to it because I can consume so much content so quickly. It moves so fast. So it's literally like, for me, it's like scrolling through Facebook or Twitter or Instagram because it's quick. I can quickly watch a lot of stuff. Now, that said, sometimes I'm like, why am I watching this? Like, have you ever sat down and you were watching something and you're like, you watch it for, I don't know, 15, 30 seconds and you're like, what is this? And why am I watching it? Well, TikTok can be like that sometimes. Some of this content that surfaces on your feed is like your brain doesn't register that you shouldn't be watching it almost, or question why you're watching it until the content's over. Cause it's like, it's a small window of time for the content. And sometimes I'm like, what in the world am I watching? So it's just a fascinating dynamic. Thanks for sharing that. So too many get carried away with shiny object syndrome. Be smart, people. I so totally agree with that. So that's really why I wanted to see if there was a place. So circling back to, does it matter for most of us? I think that's going to be dependent on whether or not you have the bandwidth to create content in a new space. Now, let's talk about the fact that it is a brand new, even though it's it's a spinoff of an older app. There are a lot of people creating amazing communities in a very short window of time, like any new platform. So when I started on Periscope, I was an early adopter and I was able to build a pretty massive community there because I was early to the game. I would say that that's true of TikTok, but it's a small window of time. There's people who are creating massive amounts of massive communities because it's brand new and they're creating consistent content. They're showing up there. People are engaging with them, etc. So that's a part of the opportunity. I think there's also another dynamic in the sense that if you create short form content or you want to create short form content, I would argue that there is a place for you there too. So, and or even repurposing existing content, which is what I want to close out with today. So, John, TikTok seems to make you dumber. Sometimes I wonder, my friend, I'm telling you, I'm like, why am I watching this? But I have found some really good content as well. Things, what I would call traditional style content, meaning 3 ways to do Y, or home tutorials or cooking tutorials, a bunch of like I say, traditional style content that you'll find on other platforms as well. So I guess it depends. I think that now that I've been on there for a few months and I've started to watch a certain content, my feed is propagated with content that I'm more interested in instead of, the random like teenage dance offs, if you will. Now, there's still a lot of that. I will give you that. There's still a lot of that. But the platform is evolving, and I think it definitely has application if, again, one, you would like to step into a kind of a new opportunity to build a large community just because of it being an early adopter, or short form content's your gig. And again, I would say that most of us, our demographic is there. I would have argued that it wasn't. I was really stunned to find out that the age bracket, 35% of the end users on TikTok are between the ages of 35 and 49. I would have thought that demographic would have skewed much, much younger. Now, there is very much a young audience there, but there's also a pretty good chunk of, I would say, the middle of the age bracket there. So Cynthia, are you saying that we can forward this TikTok videos to our Facebook or should create our own? Okay, so that was what I wanted to close out with. I'm so glad that you asked that question. So my topic at Social Media Marketing World was how you take one video and turn it in, basically how you repurpose video content specifically. And a lot of people shy away from this because they think it's work. And it is. I mean, you have to be intentional to say, okay, I'm going to create this one piece of content and then I'm going to repurpose it. I'm just here to tell y'all that I think that's just wicked smart. Like, why are we constantly chasing our tails to create more content? We create a piece of content and then we move on to the next thing instead of really milking that one piece of content. So I'm just going to suggest that we stop doing that we start to be intentional with our content, create one piece of video content that could be a live show like what we're doing right now, what you're watching right now, and then repurposing that live show, turning that one piece of content into 50 to 100 pieces of content. Technically, you could go, I mean, we have hit close to 200 pieces of content for a live show before. That was a lot, obviously. But even if you can't do 50 pieces of content, if you can only do 5 or 10, boom, now you have 5 to 10 pieces of content. So when it comes to repurposing that content, there's a lot of tools these days that allow us to do it fairly quickly. So you can turn your live video into a blog. You can take some of those video, take clips out of your video and make them applicable for YouTube or potentially IGTV. You can do quote tiles and turn them into visual images. No more hunting and pecking for other people's stuff. Use things you say. And then your messaging is streamlined across all of your socials is my point. So it doesn't have to be uber hard. I think we make it hard on ourselves. If you spent that same time leveraging the power of one piece of content instead of moving on and trying to spread yourself so thin on all the social platforms, I think you would save yourself a butt ton of time. All right. So question. Did Facebook stop our ability to download our Facebook Lives? No, they have not, Linus. And you can actually download anybody's Facebook Lives with some tools. Let's see. TikTok has the most advanced artificial intelligence software. It will prepare videos to show up next based on what videos you watch, you like, etc. It pays attention to how fast you scroll. Is there music in the video, etc.? That's why it's so addictive. Yeah, like, right? It is. You said it. I definitely a little bit on the addicted side, but let me tell you a quick story. And Darren, you will know, John and Nadia Melton. John and Nadia are in the network marketing space, and one of their people that's in their downline in their company got on TikTok and was sharing one of their products is a lip plumping lipstick, and so they got on TikTok and was sharing this lip plumping lipstick, and they had over 200 sales from that one TikTok. What? Yeah, that's a stunning story, in my opinion. So, yes, streamlining your messaging. So, how many of you guys have ever had somebody come to your profile and say, I have no idea what you do? Like, that's a problem, right? When somebody comes to your social profiles and they don't know what you do, that means your messaging's off. It means that you don't have that consistency. So when you repurpose it, it helps you create content for all your socials, and two, then you start to have a consistent, streamlined message. So it just makes sense. So, so I've been trying to haven't been able to do so. Okay, so Linus, let me give you a quick tip. If you go to the Google machine and you type in kimgarst.com plus download Facebook video, I have a blog post on it. I don't know the link offhand off the top of my head, but it literally, if you just type in kimgarst.com with a plus sign and download Facebook video or Facebook live video or something like that, my blog will pop up and it'll give you the instructions on how to do it. So hopefully that'll help you. And then Donna says, do you use Snapchat? Then download those videos to the phone. You can do that, Donna. You can also do that in the reverse, like even with Instagram, for example. If you're using stories of any sort, you can upload those and then repurpose them for TikTok or Snapchat. You know, tools have made our lives so much easier, and the platforms themselves have made things easier. In the past, if you were going to use story content, you had to divide those clips up into 15-second increments. You don't have to do that anymore. You just upload a video to Instagram or create a video using the app itself, and it'll slice it into the 15-second increments for your stories. So the platforms themselves have gotten so much easier for us. There's really, the only holdup usually to creating content is us. We have to get out of our own way. I love this. So Darren's got a TikTok story. He said, you may not have seen this earlier. He joined TikTok. He had 11,000 followers in just a few months. From one video the other night, he had over 1,200 views and his profile had 4,200 views. Oh my gosh. So he's getting serious about TikTok. It won't be like this for long. And I agree. That's why I was saying, I think it's a time sensitive thing. If you would like to jump in, if you feel like you can create short form content, yeah, TikTok could potentially be a huge opportunity for you. On stories and snaps, the platforms use those 10-second. I think it's 15 seconds on Instagram. Isn't it 15 seconds on Snap too? I'm not sure on Snap because I'm not a Snap user. I'm not a Snapchat user. I never jumped in there. I do have a profile there, but I never really use it unless I want to have a wonderful laugh. I love their filters, and I do giggle when I play with their filters because they just make me laugh. I think they have the best filters. I wish the other platforms that had story content had filters like Snapchat because they do have the best filters. All right. Oh, I understand your question now, Donna. So Donna, if you are on Snapchat or Instagram, let's just use Instagram because it's more mainstream. If you want to record a video using the app, you just press the button down and you just talk until you're done with whatever you want to say. And the app itself will automatically splice your video into those 15-second increments. And the same, now that said, I'm not sure TikTok because I haven't created any content for TikTok. I've just been a voyeur so far. I haven't tried to use the app itself. Now, I do know that you can patch content together for a 60-second TikTok. See, I don't even know. I'm so new to the whole TikTok world. I'm like, is it a TikTok? Is it a talk? Is it a post? I'm not sure. but I haven't created any contents whatsoever. I'm going to have to give somebody to give me a block of instruction for TikTok. Like, have you ever seen, some of you guys may understand this and some might not, but there's these TikToks where, you show up in your bathrobe and then you fall down on your bed and you get back up and you have a new outfit on. Like, what? How do you do that? I know it's probably something inside of the app that makes that happen, but I don't know. I haven't played around with it. So, uh, so I'm going to have to get somebody that's a TikTok pro to show me the ropes. But if you guys are interested in a couple of people that I have found that are doing interesting things on TikTok, Gary Vee, of course, if you're familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk, he's got over 3 million followers already on TikTok. And some will say, well, yeah, but it's Gary Vee. But he is repurposing content for sure. And it's what I would call traditional style content. The only difference that I'm seeing with his content on TikTok versus some of the other platforms is how he overlays text and stuff like that. So there is a little bit of a difference in, how the content shows up and how he makes it native for the platform. But it is, again, it's more of a education. It's typical Gary Vee stuff. I mean, it's not, him dancing or, any of that kind of stuff. It's again, more what I would call just his normal content, maybe with a little context put to it with overlays and things of that nature. And then another, let's see, who else? Rachel Peterson, which was the only person talking about TikTok at Social Media Marketing World. She would be somebody that I would definitely check out. By the way, she is going to be my guest, not this Monday, but the following Monday for my Marketing That Grows Your Business live show. So definitely tune in because I'm excited to have her and you guys can pick her brain as well. She's going to be talking about TikTok. Or we're going to be talking about TikTok, and you guys can learn from her as well. So the TikTok conversation can happen then. I'm trying to think who else. My friend Shalene Johnson has been doing a lot of TikToks, but hers are more entertaining in value. They're not what I would call traditional style content. And a lot of you might think when you look at her TikToks, well, I don't have moves like that. And that would be me. I'd be like, yeah, I don't have moves like her. Like, she can shake her booty. I mean, she is amazing. But like I say, there's been a lot of fun, entertaining style content in her feed that I think is fabulous. I mean, it really is. It's definitely entertaining, but a lot of people might look at it and say, well, I'm not sure I could do that style of content. My style of content's more like traditional style of content. My point is, I think there's a place for both, guys. All right. So Sherry is asking, what tool am I using to do this broadcast? I am on StreamYard right now. I had the privilege of meeting the founder and the creator of StreamYard while I was at Social Media Marketing World. So more to follow on that. But right now I'm using StreamYard. I love it. It's very simple to use. My live show on Mondays is produced. I have a producer for that. And we use a tool called vMix. But this one, it's just me operating all the pieces and parts, and it's very easy to do. It's a very streamlined process. All right. Any last minute questions, guys? I'm so appreciative that you spent so much time and let me share what I picked up at Social Media Marketing World. Just having a conversation with you, keeping it real. All right, guys. Take care. God bless. Have a great rest of your day.